Gasperini's brilliant 3-4-1-2, a tactic that scores over 3.5 goals a game and is absolutely incredible. And we're going to get right into it. So with Atalanta, a team predicted to finish in 6th place, we have come out and actually managed to win the Serie A. Not only doing that, we actually had some good team stats as well. We scored 106 league goals, only conceded 32, and picked up just the one red cards. In terms of the actual league table, though, we are going to be looking at 94 points going in our favour. Napoli coming in with 82. So again, quite a convincing season over in the Serie A. And to be honest, Atalanta, although they're not favourites by quite some long shot in terms of actually the rest of the teams in this league, Napoli, Inter Milan, AC Milan, possibly even Roma, Juventus, you could argue have got better teams than Atalanta. I'm actually a really big fan of how this team lines up. And therefore, we played very well. So we do like to see that, and especially using this, incredible three at the back system, which, by the way, is heavily favoured for the Serie A. So anyone that is playing over in Italy, I would recommend you give this a whirl right now. In terms of the team stats, we are going to be featuring in quite a few of them, specifically going to be 4 of them. 2.47 most points per game, most goals coming in at 106, most shots at 755, and the most possession at 59, favouring ourselves over Lazio, Juventus, Inter Milan, Napoli. So just showing how good we are on the ball without even having the best sort of players, which obviously is a big credit to how good this tactic actually is, if we're just being realistic. In terms of the data hub, though, we are going to be looking at 2.79 goals per game, conceded at 0.84, and a pass completion of 88. If that's not enough for you, you can also expect to see close to 20 shots per game with this tactic. So this tactic really is displaying a little bit of everything. It scores enough goals to get the job done. It concedes under a goal a game with 3 at the back, which is really, really impressive considering we're not the best team in this league either. Shots per game, obviously, quite decent, not as many as some of the tactics I have been releasing, is a little bit more reserved in that element, but overall it's still a really, really good tactic. And going over to the squad, we are going to be filtering it by goals, as you would imagine, and we're going to be seeing Duvan Zapata coming in with 27. We're going to see Palasic coming in with 23, 21 for Huijland, Koopmeers coming in with 10 as well, Muriel with 9. I'm just seeing the sheer amount of players they have got out on loan, to be fair. Quite a few players. In terms of assists, again, it's going to be Big Rasmus coming in with 14, 12, 11, 8, 7, 6, 6. So, again, yeah, we are seeing what I like to see in terms of there's a lot of players getting involved. It's not the most out there, outrageous, high-scoring tactic. It does get like that, though, when we do use the better teams, which you're going to see very shortly. But overall, even with a team which necessarily isn't the best of the best, it's still putting up really good stats. We then hop over to the Serie B and test with Palermo, a team that our predictors finished not exactly high up in the table. Let's just say that I believe they are predictors finish around about 10th place. And we have come out and won this league quite convincingly over Reguinha coming in 2nd place. Then obviously not really much of a title race despite that. To be honest, it wasn't a title race between us and 2nd place. But overall, we absolutely thumped the league. Let's just say that. We scored 133 goals, conceded only 23. Best for yellow cards, actually. So just showing that this tactic also does offer quite good levels of discipline as well, and again, 0 red cards. In terms of the team stats, we are going to be featuring in 6 of those being most points per game at 2.95, most goals at 133, which is, getting on for double of obviously 2nd place, most shots for at 758, fewer shots coming in at 276, possession just missing out on the highest there by 1%, which still just shows we are incredible on the ball, considering we are predicted to finish 10th place. In terms of fewest conceded, 23, quite some distance on that, and the most clean sheets also coming in at 21. In terms of the data hub, we are going to be looking at 3.5 goals per game, which is going to be the highest out of anyone. And I do put this down to the fact that obviously, although we are predicted to finish not in the sort of top rankings, the division is a little bit easier, to be honest, but if you're deploying this tactic with a Man City, a PSG, or a team which you've built up over the years that is incredible, you can easily surpass this as well. In terms of conceded, we're going to be looking at 0.61, nearly bang on the same as the previous test in here, with 19.95 shots per game, and a pass completion here of 88.12. And you can see here that we're actually scoring a higher number of goals per 90 minutes than the league average, so we can't really complain there either. And lastly, and by far the best team, that is going to be Inter Milan, and this is where we actually managed to win not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 trophies. Being the Champions League against Manchester City, we also won the Serie A against everyone, we won the Italian Cup against Juventus, and the Italian Super Cup against AC Milan, so a little derby there as well. In terms of the league table, it was an absolute thumping. AC Milan do finish in 2nd place though. Napoli, Roma finish off the top 4. In terms of the league stats, it's going to be looking at 125 goals, going in our favour. 25 conceded, a couple more red cards than the previous season, but clearly does not affect the performance as we have won literally everything. Now, going over to the stats, we are going to feature in almost all of them, which is, I think, the most dominating season we've seen for a while on this channel in terms of what we're featured in. Most points per game at 2.76, most goals at 125, which is absolutely incredible. Most shots for at 942, fewest shots coming in at 277. In terms of possession, 60%, almost tied there with Juventus, but still rank 1 in that aspect, and fewest conceded coming in at 25, and the most clean sheets actually tied with Roma on this occasion. In terms of the data hub, we are going to be looking at 3.29 goals per game, so around, about 0.2 less than what we did obviously score in the previous testing. A lot better at the conceding at 0.66. Shots per game by far the highest, probably because of the attacking players who do have a significant increase on that, not afraid to get shots off at the goal. 24.79 shots per game, a pass completion of, I'm going to say 88, it's 0.1 off, but if you want to be exact, 87.99, an attacker win ratio bang on 75. But let's go over now and look at the squad. And that is going to be 88 goals from Romelu Lukaku. This guy is honestly, he's one of my favourite strikers on this game. He's honestly so underrated. He is great at finishing, he's rapid, he's strong. If you can afford him, or you are playing as Inter Milan, give him a chance, because he can bang in goals. Same goes for Martinez as well here with 48. Henrik Mkhitaryan coming in with 12. 10 there from obviously Shrenar. So realistically, the bulk load is being carried by 2 players here. But when you have got a player scoring 88 and then 48, you can't expect too much of the other players. In terms of assists, we're going to have 26 here, 26, 15, 15, 14, 13, 10, 8. This is incredible. I mean, this point onwards, just look at this here. I mean, we're going to have 2 with 8, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with over 10 or 10 plus assists every season, which is absolutely incredible to see, and it just shows what this tactic can offer. It is by far one of the most, I'm trying to think of the word, one of the most sort of balanced 3 at the backs I've actually released. It's not too attacking, it's not too defensive, it's a mixture of the both. It's not going to go out and score 6 goals a game, but also it does defend very well as well. So anyone that is very keen on a 3 at the back, I would recommend you use it. Time to look at some highlights then, and this is going to be the first game. A 4-0 win against Juventus in a very comfortable cup final here. As we go over the top here, Lautaro Martinez does touch it down, squares it across into his striker partner. And I mean, when you've got Lukaku firing like that, and you've got link-up play being that elegantly displayed, that is what you can expect. As Halanoglu puts a ball in the box there into Lukaku, outjumps absolutely everybody in that Juventus back line. There's going to be a mistake coming here. Are we going to see a bit of a match engine? We are. We love to see the match engine right now. Every time we watch highlights, we see a little bug come in, as it is nearly going to be a penalty given away there from Pogba. Barella just absolutely mocking him there. It falls into Lukaku and goes off the bar. Szczesny's completely asleep. I don't know what happened. When you think of the biggest game, you probably think of the Champions League final, and that is what we are now going to watch. As you can see here, a 4-2 win over Manchester City, who have an absolutely incredible team. It was a lot of drama, and we got off to a great start there. You can see how easy it is to thread that ball through. A great pass, nevertheless, though. I don't want to take any credit away from the player. A great finish from Lukaku. Unfortunately for us, Erling Haaland from the penalty spot is probably the one thing you don't want to see in football if you're not a City fan, because he doesn't miss. Skriniar picks it up very quickly there into Lautaro Martinez. Through goes Mkhitaryan into Lukaku, and this is great because we are seeing such a wide variety of goals. We're seeing chances from the right-hand side. We're seeing chances come through the central areas. This is exactly what I want to be displaying, as Man City do find a way back into the game here in the 90th minute into Erling Haaland, and as a howler from Handanovic. Not a great place to be in a Champions League final. So realistically, we should have won it there and then, because that should not be happening. But to be fair, we do bounce back quite early on into extra time as we use the width for the field here. Don't know why that is happening. A little bit of a lag going on there, but it is going to be Lautaro Martinez from Ballavona, I believe is how you say that, who threads it into him, and it's a great finish into the bottom left-hand corner. And again, we'll have a little pause, because why not? Only happens on some of the highlights. Very interesting. Out wide again now to the fullback. He's going to cut it back inside into Lautaro Martinez, squares it across, gets a little bit lucky with a deflection, but we're not going to complain. A 4-2 win. So that leaves us with one more thing to do, and that is to break down this fantastic tactic. But I do want to quickly say, if you're enjoying today's video, please do drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And be sure to check out tomorrow's video, which is going to be the hardest rebuild we have ever done. So this is going to be Gasperini's Atalanta. Now, I do want to quickly thank all of the names coming down the screen right now. We've recently hit over 120 active Patreons, and if you want to become a Patreon, you can click the link in the description. There's some fantastic perks, including early access to the videos, early tactic release. You get access to all 3 of these files. You also get one-on-one tactic help, priority in your tactic and rebuild requests, and also you are going to get access to exclusive Patreon giveaways, so definitely check all that cool stuff out. So just to let you guys know as well, I'm not forcing anyone to do that, because you can obviously stick around and I show fully what is going on here right now. And I've also seen some comments about, you know, don't hide, don't mask, these type of things, so I won't. But you've got to be, you know, realistically, there's other creators that do it, and I'm always forward with you guys when it comes to stuff like this. If you see anyone mask stuff like this, it's because they want more watch time. It's as simple as that. So anyone else that does it, that's exactly why. I'm just open and honest about it. Simple as that. But let's just be realistic here then, and let's go over and talk about Gasperini's Atalanta. So the mentality is going to be set to attacking. In possession, we've got fairly wide, play out of defence, shorter passing directness, a slightly higher tempo, work ball into the box alongside of mixed crosses. In transition, we've got to have nothing here in the when possession has been lost. We've got counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the fullbacks and the centre-backs, and also take short goal kicks. And out of possession, we've got the high defensive line. I did try a much higher defensive line, but in my opinion, it was way too attacking and very vulnerable at the back. We then have a high press and line of engagement, more often on the trigger press, alongside a prevent, short goalkeeper, distribution. In terms of the player roles, we are going to be looking at a goalkeeper on defend, on the default, a ball-playing defender on the right, on defend, also on stay wider. Centralised, we've got a central defender on the default, and on the left, we've got another ball-playing defender on defend. And as you can imagine, most 3 at the back, you either have wide centre-backs or you have ball-playing defenders, but they are told to stay wider. And essentially, this is because these full-backs are going to naturally drift up the field, and therefore, if there is a counter-attack on, you want your centre-back to be more in this area than locked into this area here. But in terms of the full-backs, or wing-backs, should I say, we're going to have a wing-back on support, on cross-aim centre, and stay wider. And on the right, we have got exactly the same. In a default variant, they're not that attacking. They don't go forward that much, to be honest with you. It's only when you start to change to the attacking variant and things like that, that's when you notice a real change. I do want to quickly say, by the way, I did use the attacking variant for the entire Inter Milan simulation, because I wanted to see what it was like as a powerhouse. So if you are playing this powerhouse, I would recommend using the attacking variant. 2 in midfield, we've got centre mid on support, on roam from position and tackle harder, and next to him a Roman playmaker on support on the default instructions. And I do want to quickly say, guys, tomorrow's video is absolutely going to be a banger. It's by far the hardest rebuild I've ever done, and I've spent an absolute time and day editing that video. The quality is going to be significantly improved, and I hope you guys are going to see that. So please, if you do enjoy the rebuilds on the channel, watch tomorrow's video. It's going to be a very challenging rebuild, and let me know in the comments on what you think of the new editing style and any improvements that you wish for me to make. But let's go back to breaking down this tactic. We're then going to have a trek on attack on the default instructions, a press and forward on attack on default instructions, and an advanced forward on attack with a little bit of a twist with shoot more often and roam from position. And that is going to give you a very nice balanced 3 at the back tactic. Usually you don't hear balanced and 3 at the back in the same sentence, but on this occasion it is to be used. But going over to the attacking variant, we're going to see right now, there are going to be a couple of changes. The first change is going to be the wingbacks going to an attacking duty, still both on the same instructions, but just being told to go a bit more attacking, a little bit more aggressive, obviously going forwards. We then have a box-to-box come in, on support, on run wide, get further forwards, stay wider, and also tackle harder. And the Roman playmaker just simply is still on support, but told to dribble more and also move into those channels. The front 3 they are just going to remain the same, I'm going to be honest, because they literally are already very attacking, and you're going to see these 3 remain the same in the defensive variant as well. These front 3 work so well together, I didn't want to tweak a single thing about them. In terms of the team instructions though, we've got fairly wide, overlap left, overlap right, play out of defense, a shorter passing directness, slightly higher tempo, be more expressive. Obviously, we're trying to chase a game down, so be more expressive, run at defense, cause all types of issues, and work the ball into the box, just so we're not too wasteful. In transition, we're going to have nothing here, but still got counter on, distribute quickly, distribute to the fullbacks and the centre-backs, and also take short goal kicks. Now, in this tab here, you can realistically take off fullbacks if you want to, because we have got 3 centre-backs, so you're never really going to be not having an option, but I just like to let it go to anyone across that back line. And out of possession, we've remained with the higher defensive line, still got the high press line of engagement, but on this occasion, we've opted for much more often prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and that is going to be all you need for this fantastic Atalanta attacking Gasperini tactic. That is right. A lot of words to say there. But going over to the defensive variant, as you can see now, there are going to be some changes, and quite a few of them. Just to get it out there, goalkeeper, back three, exactly the same. Wing backs, exactly the same. The changes are done in midfield, and quite drastically. We drop back the midfield to almost form a back seven. So this is very defensive, and I would recommend only using this in the last 5 to 10 minutes of a game to really seal out a game. We then opt for a DM on defend, on take fewer risks and tackle harder, and a deep line playmaker on take more risks and also tackle harder. And that is going to be pretty much the player instructions done. It is fairly basic. Essentially, this is going to defend as a unit and then go long to these front three. Over to the team instructions, though, we've got a balanced mentality in possession. We've got fairly wide player of defence, a standard directness of passing, a little bit more of a direct approach on this occasion, still slightly higher on the tempo, play for set pieces and work ball into the box. And I would recommend playing with a time wasting, but I'll leave that up to you for when and if you wish to deploy that. In transition, we're going to have regroup, counter, slow the pace down, distribute to the fullbacks and the centre backs, and also take short goal kicks. And out of possession, we've got the standard line, the high pressing line of engagement, more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also drop off more. So again, this tactic is incredibly defensively minded and not to be used for the entirety of a game, in my opinion. But that is going to give you 3 fantastic options for a tactic right there. And if you guys have enjoyed today's video, as much as I had much fun making it, please do consider leaving a like on it, drop a little subscription on the channel, and hit the notification bell, because trust me, you do not want to miss tomorrow's video. I'll see you there, and have a great rest of your day.